to thank you. I want to thank the residents of Lambo Lowlands for this opportunity, not only in representing them in this house, but in representing them totally for the past 3 years. I want to seek your permission on 42.7 that I may read parts of my presentation with your lovely permission.
Your leave has been granted.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Madam Presiding Officer, I rise to address this critical motion, this motion on crime. And it can't be stated enough at the impact crime has had on all of us. And sometimes we sit in the house, sometimes you watch on TV in the National Parliament, and you see the back and forth all the time. I don't know where the notion came from, but it's an old story. Anytime you stand in opposition in the Tobago space, you align with the UNC. True. I don't know, the Chief Secretary, probably I don't know what he does on his private time, but I know I never align with no UNC. I don't know what any other member here do on their private time, but it seems like anytime you stand in this house opposed to anything that the government in the parliament does, you align with the UNC, or any party that sits in opposition if they are in government. We have numbers before us, Madam Presiding Officer. And these numbers don't only show an increase in crime in Tobago for us to sit here and think that it's Tobago alone matters. It shows an increase across the national landscape. And while the minority, it's okay to stand and say that we could always find, when something goes wrong, we could always find 1,001 reasons why it went wrong and why it could have gone wrong. I choose instead to look at possible solutions. I just quote a couple of years here. In 2020, the murders was 396. That's nationally. We had 10 in Tobago. In 21, it was 448. We had 7 in Tobago. In 22, it was 604. We had 10 in Tobago. In 23, it was 575. We had 14 in Tobago. And in the just concluded 2024, we had 624. We had 26 in Tobago. If you want to assume that the THA has problems or contributing to the upsurge of crime in Tobago, then I want to humbly suggest that the problem is even larger in Trinidad. Right? Mr. Minority, with all due respect, I'm sure since we're in this house for the 3 years I sit here, I listen to you, I listen to the Minority Council, and never said a word to you all. Because I give you the respect that I wish you could give me, but I stayed silent, so I humbly ask you to follow suit. I don't jump up and talk nothing when you're talking. I allow you to talk, because the house is here for us all to talk. So, Madam Presiding Officer, it's not only in Tobago we saw an upsurge in crime. It's across the board. And it's a little kind of emotional for me when we talk about crime, because You say we can't say lie in the house, so I wouldn't say that. I say untruth. When one of the biggest untruth people could come to you with, and mind you, it's with good intentions. If somebody for you passed away, regardless of the condition they pass away under, come and say, boy, I know how you feel. So your mother died and somebody tell you, girl, I know how you feel. But your mother alive, how you could know how I feel? I lost a brother through gun violence. I know how we feel. And I don't wish that feeling on nobody. And instead of coming here day in and day out, and who gonna blame who and who gonna say what and how we gonna be? Some of the things that could attend to Tobago's problem. We have other problems that contribute to things the way they are. We have to understand that the reality of our situation in Tobago, one of our biggest realities is that we have a very poor work ethic. Some people might say it's not politically smart to say this now, but you know what is the truth. We have a very poor work ethic. And it's okay for the minority to sit there and talk about the condition of the grounds and the condition of any sporting facility. But the figures will tell that this THA in that Department of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport are spending more money to repair things that we constantly fixing over and over and over. Not because of lack of making the facility available to the citizens, because the facilities are there. We have a very high rate of vandalism on the island. It's gone, it's just like the crime, it's alarming. We also have another problem, Madam Presiding Officer. On each one of these grounds that are mentioned by the minority, there's a team of workers there. There's a team of workers there on a daily basis. I don't know which government could come and raise you up and put you, hold your hand, cut the grass, hold your hand, pick up the rubbish, hold your hand to do everything. Sometimes we need to just stop and start taking responsibility. And I'm talking about each and every individual. Because this situation that we find ourselves in, each and every individual, regardless of what color you wear, regardless of who you choose to support, regardless of who you choose to align with, all of us have a problem. And if we don't look at sensible ways to deal with it, it could only get bigger. Because every problem is a seed that we sow. And if you don't get rid of the bad seeds, it could only grow and get bigger. Sometimes I'm sick and tired of listening to all the things that are being said, not only about this administration, but to anybody that stands on the other side, to the government in Port of Spain. Also, Madam Presiding Officer, we have a situation where there's 2 Tobago representatives in the National Parliament. If we're talking about collaboration, which the minority seems to be very interested in, then let us collaborate and have dialogue with those 2 representatives that when they go there, they go to carry a Tobago position. It doesn't matter to me how we get it done. What matters is that we have to get it done. When we have problems, Madam Presiding Officer, sometimes we got to sit and try to get the origination of the problem in order to have a chance at solving the problem. So let's go back a little. Where did our crime rate start climbing so rapidly? Is it from the time that we said, for instance, like secondary school for all? Remember, on secondary school for all, soon after, or maybe just before, the youth camps went closed, the trade schools went closed. So what we have, Madam Presiding Officer, is we are succeeding in slowly raising a generation of unskilled people. And that in itself is a time bomb waiting to explode. That is not a Tobago problem. It is not an isolated Trinidad problem. It's a national problem. And the reasons why, if, for instance, you have a situation where you have a job here, there's a job available. That's okay, I forgive you, Madam Presiding Officer. It's okay, a little pretty interruption is good for the soul. That's okay. If you have a job and one person apply for the job, it's easy. If you have a job, it's one available space and 100 people apply. Somewhere along the line, you will have to raise the requirements. You have to, you just have to. So it's just normal in my mind that sometimes the situation with the social service line for assistance, as you get longer, the requirements will have to change. You could never please everybody or getting this assistance across to everybody that need it in time. It's a very harsh line when we look at one of the realities in life and say, on the way to solving it, we'll lose a few. That's just a harsh reality. Nobody wants to be in that few. You know, once I was watching a Western, and 8 men surround one man. And they say, you're dead today for sure. He said, yeah, but I got to take 2 with me. So who know they want to be the 2, just step up. And nobody didn't step up. Because nobody wants to be in the 2. Everybody that comes to you for support, nobody wants to be that one that was rejected or turned away. But sadly enough, somebody will at some time have to be turned away. Because you just don't have the resources to feed everybody every time. One Jamaican Prime Minister said, and I always remember, in some instances in life, you have to have cash to care. If you don't have the cash, you cannot care in certain ways. Madam Presiding Officer, the division that I am a part of is not standing idly by while things appear to be running away, running out of control. We are looking into the possibilities now of the training institution it had in Patience Hill, trying to work something out to acquire that building to reopen the trade institute there. So we are not standing idly by, we are looking for solutions. We are trying to make, providing, of course, we got the buy-in from the workers and we find a way to raise productivity. Because we're not performing good in our workplaces. And I'm not sure any government is responsible for that. Each and every one has a responsibility because you might be on Facebook, I am not. But you pay one of these people 2 hours later and you're sure to be on Facebook. But these same workers don't understand that I have a duty to rightfully earn that money that I say I'm working for. To come out, get there on time, to show up every day and actually to work. We have to change that attitude. And I'm not talking about any government because I'm not sure any government can. Each and every individual has to take that individual responsibility in order to start turning things around. We have a situation where for 3 years, the team that qualified to go abroad for Caribbean Games, each and every one of the people from Tobago, the young people from Tobago that made that national team, this administration, because we understand that sometimes the sport is so expensive that the parents spend everything they have to ensure that the child have the things they want. We took the decision, the responsible decision, to fly a parent to the games for 3 years straight. This administration did that. Madam Presiding Officer, I'm going to go back and talk in this house already, but it seems like the minority forget. So I'm going to rewind and come again like what them DJ does say. We had a situation where the Chief Secretary and I sat in a meeting with UDCOT because they like to brand about this situation about the cultural complex, the Bacalet Indoor Complex. And I'm going to say it one more time, put it on the record. The truth about that indoor complex is that what was being built is not what's on the drawing. Right? It's something totally different. And being a responsible administration that we are, all we did was said to UDCOT. I actually said it. Say, I am an engineer. Me and no draftsman who does drop the thing. But what I'm sure about, what you're building there is not what's on the paper here. Because that was plain to see. The results of that, Madam Presiding Officer, is that those very people showed up a week or two later and said we're not doing none again, just because we asked for accountability. You see, we like to talk about accountability and transparency. But the same people you ask, just explain to me what you're doing, because this ain't looking right to what going up there. That was going up there looking like a bird cage, and this here look like a nice building what should serve as a shelter for disaster and all these things. And the same minority will come here every day and talk about that thing. These people take nearly 2 years to sign over, do the legal signing over for that very thing. Likewise, the Goodwood Pavilion. Yes, sir. Politics. So, I am in the business of old talk. But let me don't come in the house and try to mislead people. Yes. I don't know what you and any one of my colleagues have, but I don't do it to you, don't try to do it to me. You could grumble, that is okay. Me and hearing, so go ahead. Madam Presiding Officer, the time has come for us all as a nation to understand this problem don't only go to your house and spare my own. Crime affects everybody. And if we don't get up and deal with it as a responsible people, it's just a matter of time before we start being trapped in our house by the things we put in to keep the burglars out. And I would be the last one at any time to come and rejoice in anybody's demise. But we see on the TV, we see on the news so regular that people have a little disaster in their house, a little fire, and because of the measures they put to keep the criminals out, it keep them so far in that they couldn't get out. We have to work together to remove those barricades from around all of us, because it's around all of us and it's closing in daily. We have to try to be a responsible people. I don't care when I get up in the morning and I breathe. I give thanks for that, but I don't care when I'm living nice and when I'm moving around properly in a pretty crime-free environment. I don't care who the government was that who did it. The thing is that the citizens enjoy a sense of freedom and a sense of living the way life should be. I don't care who do it. I don't care if it's PNM. I don't care if it's UNC. I don't care if it's you choose not to see. Any one of the things. The people of Trinidad and Tobago need to stand up now together, take responsibility. And each of us need to look at where we went wrong, where we are going wrong, and try to make that turn around. It's never too late to make it turn around. Else the crime will only get bigger, bigger, and start overpowering all of us. All of us will fall victim sooner or later to crime if we don't find a way to turn this around. Madam Presiding Officer, long time when you were small and you get in trouble home and your mommy say, when your father come home, you're going to see something. That was enough to make you stop. Yes. Or she said, I'll call the police for you. When a little 2-year-old child could turn around now, as they could talk and you tell them that and they call them now, then we know we're in trouble as a nation. I could tell your father and he don't mind we here and they live here. Then we're in trouble. So even from the perspective of a male standing up to their responsibility, Madam Presiding Officer, is a measure of crime fighting, and no government could instruct you to do that. You have to do that as an individual, as a man. Stop being a male and start being a man. Our problems could never disappear. They would never go away if we choose to approach them the way we've been approaching them in the past. From experience, we could see that all that has been happening, Madam Presiding Officer, is the more we point and the more we blame and the more we look for excuse, the only thing that then stops growing is the problem. And it's going to take over all of us if we can wise up and start doing the right thing. Everything we do could affect how we live. Everything. And when you look at the crime situation again, we see from experience, we see from the statistics that it's not getting better. So it means that we're not addressing the problem the way it should be addressed. And then you could go further to the region. Different countries are experiencing different wavelengths of crime. Situation that sort of unprecedented. People see new high. Athletes are running faster, they're jumping higher, but the criminals are also raising their game. So everybody's stepping up. So if we all could step up in doing what is right, trying to be good, doing the right thing, I think we could have a foot in the door to start to say that we are successfully approaching the corner where we are dealing with crime. It's a situation where all of us has to take some of the blame somewhere along the line. And I'm not sure, Madam Presiding Officer, any government with any amount of allocation could do anything to solve this problem. This is no governmental problem again. What messed up in the past already messed up. You're watching me like you want to tell me 5 minutes? I reached there, Madam Presiding Officer? Oh, thank you. So, I am saying that this is just my plea. As I said before, I lost a brother and I don't wish it on nobody in here. Not the minority, not the clerk, not the officer, nobody. Because it is not a nice feeling and it's something that sometimes, without counseling, without that support, you may never get over it. So I don't wish it on nobody. So I stand here saying that I will love to see the day that we could put the politics away and start dealing with the problem that could give us that chance to see a better Tobago and a better country. I look forward to the time when we could see a Tobago East and a Tobago West representative in Parliament. Doesn't care who they represent, but they're taking a Tobago position to Parliament. I really don't care what color they wear and what they do. What interests me is that you're coming out of Tobago with a Tobago position to make the situation better. That's all I require. That's all I would like to see, Madam Presiding Officer.
Member, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I was wondering when he will come. So, Madam Presiding Officer, I want to assure Tobago that from this administration, the division where I reside, the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, we continue to work to rid ourselves of some of the problems that we face. But it cannot be a divisional task alone. Each and everybody have to put their hand to the wheel. Each and everybody has to play a part. We have a situation, Madam Presiding Officer, where we train thousands of people every year. And no one could deny that, not even the minority. We train thousands of young people in Tobago every year, in all different skills. So it's not for lack of trying. We are trying. We are working. We will continue to do what we have to do in the best way that we can. But as I wrap up, Madam Presiding Officer, the problem we face, let us all stop making it political. Let us all understand that the first step to ending this problem and to dealing with it is simply going in front of the mirror and looking. Let us all address ourselves. Let us all take charge of the immediate families that we have charge of. Let the men in our society stand up and be the men and not be the males. Let us be the men. Let us do the things that men should do. Hold the families together, and in turn we could hold the society together, and we could hold the island together, and we could hold the country together. And if we work together, I have no doubt that we could make Tobago the greatest little island on the planet. I thank you, Madam President.